Dear Lord, I pray for our meeting today. God, we come to you just in reverence of you and submission of your plan, God. We pray that you use each one of us as we lead this county and serve our citizens. I pray that we do it in our best of our ability. In your name, pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. We got everybody. We'll go ahead and call Marshall County Fiscal Court to order, May 2nd, 2019. First on the agenda is Brittany, Parks Director. Good morning.
We're just going to have that as a normal agenda item every time.
It should be. I have enough fun stuff going on. We can
Leave it
talk
on
every
there.
week or every other week or however often you want to talk. So our big thing, as I know most of you may have heard, is we officially got our affiliation with the Miracle League, which is an organization. It's a national organization. It's a baseball league for children and adults who are disabled in any way and are not able to play in regular leagues. So we are now officially the Miracle League of Western Kentucky. And with this, as the first part of our expansion on the new property, we are going to build a Miracle League field. And these fields are a poured rubber surface, so they're not dirt and grass, so that wheelchairs, walkers, all of those, devices and equipment can actually go out on the field. The greatest part about this program is that each child or adult, if need be, who is on a Miracle League team is paired with a buddy. And these buddies are able-bodied, either teens or adults who volunteer, and they are actually out on the field with them to help them swing the bat or to push them around the bases and just to be out there having fun. So this is going to be a regional complex, basically. So once we get this field, I'll be working with all of the surrounding counties to help them form Miracle League teams, and all of these teams will practice and play at these facilities at Mike Miller Park. Along with that, we also wanted to kind of take it a step further, and so we'll be doing concessions and restrooms there that are all handicap accessible, and we're going to do a playground, and it's not just going to be a small playground, it's going to be a really big deal. The Miracle League has some suggestions as far as these playgrounds go, but I really wanted to take it a step further, so I'm going to be working with pediatric, occupational, and physical therapists to design every aspect of the playground so we make sure that every child is able to really utilize it and enjoy it. So that's kind of our big thing. We've kind of kicked off our initial fundraising for this. Our initial estimate is about $1 million. Hopefully we're going to come in a little under that, but I wanted to make sure to allow for more than enough to really do this right and make it something that the whole region can really be proud of. So we've started fundraising. We have a GoFundMe account set up for it. We're also taking donations at the park. We've got fundraisers planned. We're going to do a dodgeball tournament coming up in June. It's Dodge for a Cause, and it's a $150 donation per team, and all of the money raised from that will go towards the Miracle League. And if you ask me, I feel like the Fiscal Court should probably enter a team in the dodgeball tournament.
We're going to discuss that here in a second.
I feel like there might be a lot of people who would come out to play against the court members, So we're going to have a lot of things happening to raise funds from this. Along with that, the sponsorships at the park are still continuing to grow. I've gotten in just last night more requests for more park partnerships, interest about naming rights to the pavilions. So we're just continuing to see more and more excitement come in about the park.
Great.
Balls are going to be used for the dodgeball.
It depends on which team it is. Why?
One that hurts.
He's
really
a
good
pro.
question.
He wants to know he knows the ounce,
I would prefer the rubber kickball version.
Okay, duly noted. I don't want a lawsuit or anything, so I'll make sure we keep you happy.
Wow.
Yep. Do y'all have any questions
Something
for
that
me?
you can work up some velocity on it.
Okay, this is getting serious. I like it.
For an additional donation if you hit someone in the head, maybe.
For an additional donation, we might line you guys up and see how much people are willing to pay to just take individual
May
shots.
get the thing paid for fairly quick.
If the price is right.
Pay for the field real quick.
I don't know.
Yeah. We're also looking at engraved bricks that we'll be able to do. There's lots of different things that we're gonna plan to do for this. But yep, the dodgeball is the first one to kind of kick it all off.
And this is, if you remember, this is one of the things that we wanted out of this position is the fundraising. We feel like we're not capturing a lot of those dollars out there for opportunities like this. But yeah, when she told me about the dodgeball tournament, I thought this is a great opportunity for the fiscal court to put a 5-member team together.
5 members.
So I'm
That's a quorum. Can we speak to each other?
you're not
Make
gonna
sure that
you're not gonna get out that easy.
y'all are there.
But I thought, you know what better way to start an initiative than to get involved. So I would ask 5 of us to join as a team to be one of the first teams in the dodgeball tournament. I would think there'd be folks out there that would want to form a team to come and throw balls at us, so it's raising money for the organization.
Maybe we should add a Dunkin' booth or something to
yeah.
this.
Yeah,
I'm a fat boy, so I'm an easy target.
you're easy target. So
Well, you got, when is it?
June, it's beginning of June.
You got a couple months.
Yeah.
Slim down.
Yes. Anybody have any questions for me about the field or the league or anything pertaining to that?
No, I think it's a great idea. I know you're getting a lot of good responses from it, and we'll put that information out. I know you're putting it out already, so
Absolutely.
look forward to see how it goes.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, correspondence, Marcella's Kitchens. This is their letter for their open house, Marcella's Kitchen, May 5th, 1 to 4, 868 Guy Mathis Drive here in Benton. We would be honored to have you come to our new kitchen. This is their new facility. It's their open house. I know we're going to go tour that today, and it's their message, I think, is an outstanding message. They started over a year ago on $1 million drive to make this happen, and they have done an outstanding job getting donations throughout the community from various businesses and citizens, and their facility is phenomenal. So that's May 5th, 1 to 4 p.m. Under correspondence, Charter Communications, I'll just read this. Marshall County Treasurer's Office. This is a TWC digital phone name change. Spectrum Advanced Services, LLC. This letter serves as notification that TWC Digital Phone, LLC, has changed its legal name to Spectrum Advanced Services, LLC, effective March 1st, 2019. Please update the name on our Kentucky Marshall County E911 account. For questions, please contact Missy Allen. So that's just a name change with Spectrum. And under correspondence, this is the agreement that we went into with Kentucky Department of Agricultural. This is the mosquito spraying. You got Callaway, Marshall, and Trigg that are participating in this. We're going to upload this to our webpage. It's got the contact number for those in the community that have issues with mosquito spray, mosquitoes. It's going to run from May to August. And the number that they need to contact is the Marshall County Health Department, 270-252-2719. Residents can call and give the basic information. I think it's name and address, I think a contact number. And then they'll be put on a list, and the road department will gather that information from the health department, and they'll go out and spray those targeted areas. So we'll just upload this to our webpage. All right, old business. Approve the minutes, April 16th meeting.
Motion to approve.
Is there a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The judicial building janitorial service. Brad was out of town last time, but we had, can you update the court? We had another bid that came in through email, but it did come in.
Did. Yeah, it did come in, email, I just missed it. It was, submitted in proper form and time, but it was about $98,000 for the year. It outlined the same services that were in the spec. Since then, I don't know if you guys received my email yesterday, but I talked to the AOC. I sent those, I did correspond with Judge Mattingly, and they recommended Magic Steam. That's who they wanted to recommend. However, when I sent it to the AOC, they only pay $4 per square foot for janitorial services and maintenance, which equates to about $126,000 for the year. That being said, Magic Steam was $120,000 for the yearly contract, which only left $6,000 for maintenance. So I talked to Ronnie McCall at the AOC, and it was really his thought was, if you all want to make that decision, whatever is spent over that 126 would just be on the county's responsibility.
And $6,000 is not enough, in my opinion, for the whole year for maintenance.
The other issue that we have, I believe Magic Steam and the Power Wash Pro or Pro Power Wash was the 98,000 one. They outlined every single thing that the judicial or the AOC outlines in their guidance on how to maintain the building. That included windows, outdoor pressure washing. The West Kentucky janitorial was I think the third of the, which who does it now. Those services aren't provided in their quote. So those services would have to be contracted outside of their contract. Just kind of throwing that out there.
But
Still
did
don't
we,
think
did
it
we
was
have,
50.
West Kentucky was about $4,300 a month. So it was
$6,000 difference.
well, last year, though, when we had that contract, we didn't have those items in the
Correct.
contract.
Correct.
So, I mean, we did go this fiscal year without those items, and ALC did approve it. So I don't know if that's just a recommended, this is what services need to be completed. I don't want you guys to think that we can't, because we currently are. We have a contract with a company that did not outline some of those duties that ALC has in their policy, but ALC approved it, and here we are. But when we look at it, we look at the what ALC uses as far as their what they want in a contract. That's what we use, and if they get all of it in there, then that's great. But if they don't, it doesn't mean that we can't accept that
So I
contract.
assume we will send to AOC whoever we decide to use to get approval before we sign the contract with them, correct?
What the AOC, they don't view this as a non-recurring project as other ones. So when we did the mitigation for the engineering to figure out what was going on with the mold and all that stuff, that was a non-recurring project. This is not a non-recurring project. So what happens is you all would approve one of these contracts, and all they do is they permit who can enter that building. That's their approval process on that, which we've already done on all the services. I sent all of the people that would enter on all those contracts to the judicial building, and they've all been approved. There was one denial, which it really doesn't matter until you all make that decision on which contract we go into.
So they pay the same percentage on any of those we have in front of us?
Yep.
Okay.
And then West Kentucky did clarify they are on call, so they can come if there's
That's what I was going to say.
have a kid throw up in the lobby, they can come take care of it, so.
Yeah.
And I don't know, part of, well, that's it.
It's just, to me, too wide of a variance, and I've not had anyone call to just complain. I would move that we award the bid to West Kentucky Janitorial.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, ordinance 2019-03 bonds, the second reading.
All right, this is the second reading of the bond issuance. We had the first reading last time. I'll do a brief summary reading this time. This is ordinance number 2019-03, an ordinance of the Fiscal Court of Marshall County, Kentucky, authorizing and approving the issuance of general obligation bond series 2019 in a principal amount not to exceed $3.5 million, the proceeds of which are to be used for various public projects, authorizing the levy of a direct annual tax on all taxable property within the county in addition to all other taxes in an amount sufficient to pay the principal of and interest on the bonds when and as the same become due, authorizing the establishment of certain funds to provide for the collection of revenues, if any, from the projects, and to the extent required, the proceeds of the tax, authorizing the execution of the bonds and the disbursement of the proceeds thereof, authorizing the investment of the funds pursuant to KRS 66.480, providing for delegation by the fiscal court of authority to the judge executive of the county to determine certain matters relating to the bonds, and authorizing such other documents, agreements, and certificates necessary or required for the entering into of the bonds, including but not limited to a continuing disclosure agreement, and designating the bonds as qualified tax-exempt obligations for federal income tax purposes. Section 1 is the preamble and contains definitions. Section 2 is the necessity for an authorization of the bonds, that for the purposes set forth in the preamble to this ordinance, there is hereby declared a necessity for, and there is hereby authorized, County of Marshall, Kentucky General Obligation Bond Series 2019, principal amount not to exceed $3.5 million is authorized by this ordinance and shall be dated as determined by the judge executive upon advice of the financial advisor. Section 3 is form and execution of the bonds, authentication, optional, and mandatory redemption. Section 4 is compliance with the Constitution, designation and certification of public project, authorization of the tax, pledge of the tax, project revenues, and pledge receipts to the payment of the bonds, designation as general obligation bonds. Section 5 is delegation of authority to determine certain matters relating to the bonds. Section 6 is execution of documents authorized, approval of state local debt officer. Section 7 is employment of financial advisor and bond counsel, advertised sale of bonds, acceptance of bid. Section 8 is establishment of funds. Section 9, registration of bonds, duties of bond registrar, paying agent, and depository. Section 10, tax covenants, approval of tax compliance procedures. Section 11 is the contractual nature of the ordinance. Section 12 is qualified tax-exempt obligation. Section 13 deals with severability. Section 14, conflicts repealed, effective date of the ordinance. And Section 5 is continuing disclosure procedures adopted.
Questions? There's no questions. We need a motion to approve the second reading.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next on the old business, the bid multiple purpose building, RBS, had the bid openings April 30th. There were 3 contractors that bid for the multi-facility, and that was DK Construction. Total base bid was $2,159,592. Everett Company Incorporation, they're out of Marion, Illinois, $1,989,995. And Travis Construction out of Calvert, $2,098,000. Those were sent in by RBS. We've got, obviously you've got all the bid tabs, but we've got a budget workshop next week. My suggestion would be to table this until we go through the budget workshop so that you guys can see the details of our budget. And then we can come back on the 21st. RBS will be here on the 21st.
I move we table it.
Second.
Second.
Is RBS going to do some investigation for us on?
As far as the companies, what the information is. Yeah. There was, I got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. There were two.
We get a copy of the bids to look over also.
Yes. Did you guys get a copy?
Okay, gotcha. The entire, I just seen that.
There, the
Total on
two, the two engineering, should be the two engineering companies, Bacon Farmer Workman and then associate, agencies out of Mayfield, or Madisonville, but that should be in there as well.
The engineering firm bids were in there also?
Yeah. Well, they're not, I guess they're, the information, is it not in the email as well? Okay.
I saw RBS is, they
Yeah, the
had
architect, yeah,
something they had in there, but I don't think anything else was.
okay. One was, I think it was like a $6,000-7,000 difference, but I'll make sure you guys get that. Any other questions? New business, we had a new hire for the E911 director, Chris Freeman, and he took the offer of employment as the new 911 director. His first day will be May 6th. Be a full-time position, salary will be $80,000 a year. And I believe he's already moved to the community. So he's a new resident of Marsh County. And Chris, we've got his bio, actually it's on my desk, but Chris has been in the dispatching community for over 20 years. He's the PSAP director for Kentucky. We've got the PSAP of the year for Kentucky and the PSAP director of the year for Kentucky. So he brings with him a lot of knowledge and experience. He's also been a DOCJT instructor for the dispatching training. So I think some of our dispatchers he's actually trained. And so he brings, I think, as you guys know, what we need to get 911 where it needs to be. So we need a motion to approve Chris as a new 911 director.
So move.
I would like to say something on this. I
Sure.
wasn't aware he would be actually offered the job till we voted on it. I cannot support an $80,000 salary for a starting position. The previous salary was $50,000. And after careful consideration, I mean, we're putting ourselves in a situation with looking at roughly $115,000 with benefits, and I just cannot support that.
I'm going to second the motion, but I would say I understand your concerns and anyone else that has concerns over that. One thing you didn't mention, but was made very clear, is that there is a set
Yes.
guidelines out there or goals to hit that do not kick in any type of bonus or anything like that. It is just for this, we expect this, and I will say, from my part, seconding this motion, that I'll be focused on ensuring that takes place, because that is a big investment, obviously.
It is, and I think clarification is warranted. What we have to do with 911 is get somebody in here that can actually get 911 set up to be a regional 911 center. You go back 3 years ago, when we were having town hall meetings, and folks were very adamant that they wanted 911 to stay in Marsh County. The earliest discussions were in 2010. You can go back that far, when KSP was, I believe, here at the Fiscal Court, and outsourcing or sending 911 to Post 1. It was an adamant no that I got from residents in this community. In order to move forward, we've gone through the whole process as far as the options. 3 years ago, there was still a Supreme Court ruling that hadn't come out yet. That ruling came out in regards to water meters. So it opened up some opportunities for communities to find a fair way to fund 911. I don't think right now our current system is fair at all. We've got a lot of the older residents in our community that have landlines and the businesses. As those decrease, the subsidy is going to increase. When you look at the budget to get 911 off the occupational tax funds that we get come in, you know, there are monies there that if we establish that funding for 911, those monies will free up in our budget. And if you look at the retirement, we're going to be going over the budget next week, but if you look at the retirement commitment, if we continue at a 12% increase, we're going to be looking at about $450,000 over the next 2 years. And the subsidy that we have just budgeted this next year is close to $400,000. I know I don't have the time or the knowledge to do it. No one on this body has the time or knowledge to do it. Chris brings that to the table. You know, that's what we had discussed. I know when I go out and offer a position to somebody, the man moves here. Basically, that was the directive that I was given, and that's actually what happened. So $80,000 does seem like a lot. Where he previously came from was $65,000. And if we want to get 911 to be a regional 911 in Marshall County, it's going to take somebody like Chris to make that happen. If not, we're back to square one, and I don't know what the answers are going to be. So I stand behind it because I think it's a good decision to get somebody in there to move 911 in the direction where it needs to be and to get it off, get that subsidy out of our budget.
I agree. I went to several of those town hall meetings a few years ago, and the people were very adamant that they wanted to keep 911 here. And I think this is a step in the right direction to keep it 911 in this community. We got to get a director that's forward-thinking, and I think Mr. Freeman is that director, and I'm comfortable with that salary.
We got a motion and a second. Do a roll call vote. District 1 Commissioner?
Yes.
District 2?
No.
District 3? Yes. And mine will be a yes. Motion carries. Let's see. New business, Rivercrest Engineering drawdown request. Y'all should have. Ah. 2019 first quarter ABC regulatory fee report. Sorry about that.
If you see, we collected $61,255.08 in regulatory fees. We issued $6,168.03 in credits, totaling gross fees collected at $55,087.05. And as you all know, that's those license fees are by KRS to be issued back to the licensees. Any questions?
More than usual?
No. It's a little low, but that's to be expected in the first quarter. But it'll pick up the next 2 quarters pretty significantly.
We'll move on. New business, Rivercrest Engineering drawdown request. Should have that information in front of you. Just need a motion to approve the drawdown request, and this is going to be for MERCO on the Draftonville sewer expansion, phase 1 through 3.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Been a minute since I had addressed the fiscal court here on the project, but as you've seen on the progress reports, progress has continued on the project, and they're over 90% on their completion right now. They're just tidying up a few things at the lift station site And then they've got a small extension there on the school property left remaining in the project, and we expect that those items will be completed this month on the project itself. As of right now, I have not heard from the KIA in regards to the use of those residual funds that we requested. I understand they meet on the 5th of the month, so I expect at their next board meeting, we'll probably get some word from them on that line extension to the trailer park that we had discussed out to the west and south of the lift station site over there. Rivercrest, we've completed the design on that. I'm actually meeting with the sanitation district today to review that design and the easements that'll be required for that. So we'll have a little more direction and be prepared to move forward with the permitting and then moving forward with the change order for the construction with the contractor once we get that.
Okay.
Does anybody have any questions?
So
on
we
the
should know
board?
by the next fiscal court meeting what KIA,
It's my understanding
Besides-
that that should be, pushed. We'll know one way or the other
Yeah.
at their board meeting here in May. Yes.
Is there a bar screen going in at the school? Has that been done, or is they still negotiating on that?
From what I understand, that decision has not been finalized at this time. It's my understanding that they have met, the district has met with the school about the issue, but a resolution hasn't been arrived at just
Okay,
yet.
thank you.
Any other questions about the progress or anything? I know there's a question, always from the customers on when they can tie on to the system, so I suspect after this month, once the lift station and everything's up and running, then the contractor will be completed with that scope of work. All the lines will be in service, and then the district will be in a position to go ahead and take on the new customers, and they'll be able to tie on once they pay their necessary fees or pay their plumbers to tie them on for the system. So that should be coming here in the next few weeks.
Do the plumbers actually tie into the main line, or is that done by
They'll
a
tie
separate
in
contractor?
in almost all cases where the contractor actually put a clean out in
Right.
at the property line, the plumbers would tie to that existing, or that new clean out that was put at the property line.
Okay, thank you.
So they won't be actually physically attaching to the sewer main itself in most all cases, unless it's a new property or a new build where we didn't have a clean out constructed as part of the project.
Any other questions? Okay.
All right.
Need a motion for me to sign this.
move we approve the Rivercrest engineering drawdown request.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Just a quick update while I'm standing up here on the Southwest One project. Those plans are at the Division of Water right now, and they're being reviewed for approval for the water and sewer extensions for the lines down there. Excuse me. From the easement negotiation standpoint, we have 27 out of the 33 easements in hand right now, and we're trying to close all those, the remaining 6 up here in the next few weeks. Yeah, we'll have a presentation. We'll be discussing that with you, Judge, and the mayor.
Okay.
They're in Benton about finalizing those final 6.
You having an issue with those, or you just haven't got to those yet, or?
We've got open dialogue with 5 out of the 6. One of them, we haven't had much dialogue at all with them, just to be honest with you. We made several attempts by mail and by phone. Actually knocked on the door yesterday and got in touch with one of those property owners, and it seems like it may be a little difficult situation. So, again, we'll probably have to have a meeting to discuss that and the necessary next steps that the county and city want to take on that item.
Very well. Thank you. Under new business ordinance 2016-07 nuisance amended May 2nd, 2019, be a first reading.
Just one minor change to the ordinance. This is an ordinance amending ordinance 2016-07 relating to the abatement of nuisances and governing the maintenance of structures and premises essential for the protection of the health and safety of the citizens of Marshall County. Whereas the Marshall County Fiscal Court does wish to amend its nuisance code ordinance to reflect the amendment of the definition of code enforcement officer, now therefore be it ordained by the Fiscal Court of Marshall County that ordinance number 2016-07 is hereby amended as follows. Section 1, definitions. Code enforcement officer means a city police officer, safety officer, citation officer, county police officer, sheriff, deputy sheriff, university police officer, airport police officer, alcoholic beverage control administrator, or deputy administrator, deputy judge executive. That's the only change that we're making here. We're adding that position in there, or other public law enforcement officer with the authority to issue a citation.
And that's the first reading of the amendment to that ordinance. Are there any questions? We'll do new business, court facilities, local government reimbursement for FY '20. Do you want to explain this to me?
This is a form that we get annually, and this is AOC offering us an estimated amount that they will pay us throughout the year for their portion of rent towards the building. They roughly pay 80%. It's, I don't have a copy of it with me, but it's like 0.82, 0.89. I think it's that second number. 0.869. They're offering $254,000, $254,009 this year. Generally, after the end of the fiscal year, in August, they will come back and audit this current fiscal year. Whatever adjustments that they have, they may either add to this amount or take away from this amount, depending on what we've spent and what they approve. So they do deny, they can kick out anything that they want. They will send us a report after they're finished with the audit, but it gets reflected in this report. I only budgeted 220 for next fiscal year for the court facility fees, just to premeditate some of that deductions that they claim. So I don't necessarily think that this is a horrible estimate. It's not way high. We have had years where they estimated high and then we wound up losing an employee back when we had janitors that were there full time. If one of those retired and we didn't replace them and they overpaid us, we wound up like short by $100,000 in that year. So, that's part of me budgeting 220 is to make sure that we don't come up too terribly short.
This does not include what we just approved earlier, right? The judicial,
That,
The percent will be.
yes, that, what they are willing to pay for janitorial maintenance is a part of this
is a
number.
part of this? Okay.
So
So
what-
that 120 whatever is in this 254. It's not on top of 254.
Correct.
This is not just rent.
No,
It's maintenance.
Right, and one of the things that we did, when you look at the budget, you'll see 120. We budgeted the high end of the bid, but obviously we'll change that since the court just took action.
Okay.
We just need a motion for me to sign this.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next on their new business, library board appointment. I think it was last meeting or the meeting before, I made an appointment to the library board, but the appointee apparently, I don't know the details, but they resigned. So the library board sent over another appointee. So let me read this because I don't know if it's going to be due to the resignation of Jessica Lovett from the Marshall County Public Library Board of Trustees, we hereby submit the following names for your consideration and fill in the vacancy, term to expire April 30th of 2023. My recommendation is going to be Carla Darnell.
So move.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We have under new business, Johnson Creek Water District, board member's term has expired, and Jimmy Tubbs' term has expired on June 30th of this year. I'm going to make the recommendation to reappoint him to a new term on the Johnson Creek Water Board.
Make that motion.
Second.
Second, all those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Appropriations transfer.
I only have two appropriation transfers, one within the jail and one within 911. Both are for small amounts and departmental transfers.
Motion to approve the appropriations transfer.
moved.
Is there a
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Encumbrance report.
General fund had an encumbrance balance of $52,324.85. Road fund, $94,635.57. Jail fund, $24,298.93. 911 fund, $144.47. ABC fund, $18,387.48. Building inspection, $4,145.27 for a total encumbered balance of $193,936.57.
Motion to approve the encumbrance report.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Treasurer's quarterly report.
Our quarterly report reflects the ending cash balance of the general fund, $1,359,735.93. Road fund, $311,113.84. Jail fund, $276,231.97. Grant fund, $1,086.92. 911 fund, $45,487.60. Occupational tax administrator, $5,364,451.76. And ABC, $206,456.98. And building inspection, $53,615.08.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Subject to audit.
Subject to audit.
Motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Payment of the bills.
Motion to pay the bills.
There a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I'd originally had it scheduled for us to recess, but I think we got done fairly quickly. So today is National Day of Prayer. So we're actually having it over at Marcella's Kitchen at 11 o'clock. So everybody, I think we put that out as far as the location. So when we break from here, we'll head over to Marcella's and have National Day of Prayer. Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.